What's good, y'all? Kid Jerome here. I'm reviewing a different album from 1001 albums you must hear every day. And the 14th one is Heavy Weather. Heavy Weather is the 7th album released by New York jazz fusion group Weather Report in March 1977. I am wholly unfamiliar with Weather Report. I have no exposure to them. I've heard of them, but I've heard none of their songs. I am very uneducated as far as jazz is concerned. I've heard lots of jazz-inspired music. I've listened to lots of jazz-inspired vocalists, but as far as instrumental jazz, pure jazz is concerned, nothing. So this was very exciting for me. The structure of these songs is sort of like one solo after the other. There's not really traditional verses and choruses in these songs. I mean, there's no words, but each song is kind of like this stage for a solo, and then they give way to the next soloist, and then that gives way to the next soloist, and each time another soloist takes the last one's place, the initial soloist blends into the rhythm section. There's some really cool examples of this happening on A Remark You Made. You have this blistering saxophone solo, this really fast, really intense, really cool solo that's later joined by a tenor saxophone. They begin harmonizing, and then they fade into the rhythm section together, giving way to the synthesizer solo. Harlequin has these wide open spaces following each solo where the energy sort of resets, while the next soloist can start from the bottom and build up and up and up and up and up to this big, crashing, loud moment. The drums are always matching the intensity of the soloist, and then you'll get another one of these wide open spaces. The drummer's gonna go back to maybe just their hats, just really gentle, quiet sounds, and then the next soloist has this square one to build up on, and it just repeats this process over and over, resulting in this kind of roller coaster effect of intensity and release and intensity and release. We have the Juggler, where no instruments really overpower the other one. It's very peaceful, very serene. Everything's working together very well. While there's definitely solos on this song, of course, there would have to be. They're not necessarily driving the intensity of the song up like on the other tracks. This one is very relaxed. There's mostly major intonations. It's much less chaotic. It's a very peaceful track. In stark contrast to this peaceful song, there's many more moments of chaos on this album, where you have these really frantic rhythm sections, really intense, fast 16th note solos where they're going up and down the scales, playing scales that I'm wholly unfamiliar with. You have these really intense passages that feel like they're just about to explode, and then they do explode. There's a couple examples of this, like the intro to Teen Town. Really, the entirety of Teen Town is just this chaotic mess, but it's beautiful in execution. Really, they mastered the chaos on Teen Town. The outro of Harlequin is especially powerful. We have the intro to Palladium. It just starts like a meteor hitting the listener and building out from there. It's really incredible what they're able to do with these very frantic, very intense moments. It sort of grabs the listener and invokes this sense of awe. As the album progresses, we become more accustomed to these moments of chaos, and they become much more exciting, because as it happens over and over and over, you start to realize that they never fail to stick the landing. They're always delivering. It's hard to satisfy a listener who is expecting the song to explode, to absolutely go bananas. But every single time, I find myself extremely impressed with the payoff. This comes to a head in the closing track, Havana. There's so much happening in the song. I had to write down the timeline, so bear with me a second. It starts with the drums. They're really driving the track forward. All throughout the song, the drums are really increasing the energy and encouraging the soloist to take it up another notch. It really pushes everything to the next level. And then after the drums really establish themselves, you have the saxophone solo, where everything's gaining energy. The saxophone's gaining pitch to match the increasing energy, and then it just crashes, just explodes. And what follows that is this really just crazy fast bass solo. The drums take this really quiet, hushed approach during the bass solo, giving the lower frequencies of the bass the room they need to really stand out. I mean, the drums are really just hi-hats at this point, going and it's just incredible what the bass player is able to do with this open space. It made me wish I was paying more attention to them in the entire album. Just wow, this bass player is crazy. After the bass solo, we have this tenor saxophone and piano back and forth. They float over the chaos of the track. I mean, the bass is still going crazy, the drums are still going crazy, but the pianos and saxophone, oddly serene. It's very eerie, the tension that they're able to build with this contrast between the serene moment and the chaotic drums. And then the song just explodes one more time. It just crashes into the outro, and just like that, the album's over. What a closer. All in all, I consider Heavy Weather a very important lesson in harmony and dissonance, a very valuable lesson, a reminder that nothing is impossible in music. I would recommend this album to people who appreciate jazz, musicians of all skill levels, and people who need something a little bit more upbeat and frantic to be productive, to keep them awake. Very strong background music. Some standout songs to me were Birdland and Teen Town. I give this album a solid 9.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the album in the comments below. If you appreciate what I had to say, please leave a like. That really helps me out. You can click the links in the description to follow my journey. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. So until then, never stop listening. Peace.